of Wi-Fi and buses is important to students of Minnesota. Last year when I was in 5th grade, my teacher assigned our class an essay assignment. He asked each of the students to write about something they would like to change in our school. After some thought, I chose to write about our school. As ours also has been blessed with more technology, it also requires students to have access to the internet to complete it. I lived in a rural area and ride the bus for approximately 1 hour to and from school. This is time that if available students would be able to work on their homework. Most students do not have lessons at home and they are involved in sports at our school. Living in a rural area requires longer bus rides to these events. Without Wi-Fi on the bus, students are unable to complete assignments, which is required internet access. Happily, the opportunity to complete assigned work on the bus would be more productive and efficient use of their time. This also allows students to achieve academic and extracurricular success. In closing, I would ask your support and consideration to providing this valuable resource to the students of Minnesota for your time.
Friends don't have internet access at home. Our schools don't have much technology, but some. And we use the internet quite often for assignments. And we believe that everyone should be able to do activities using the internet. So we studied status, who mom's friend, helped us give us the idea of starting the Methodist newspaper on the world. And the way that I came to become the editor of this newspaper was my mom was a realtor, so when she was selling a stand in Grand Marais for her husband, they needed to find 4 corner property stakes. And the stakes were quite hard to find. They were buried and rotted with leaves and stuff, and I found 2 of the 4. And that showed Anne that I had an attention for detail, a hard-working ethic, and very organized. And now a year later, I became the editor, and now I have my friends on board, kids in my school. It's grades 4 through 8, and it's online at borealcore.org, and it's a branch out of the site up north called boreal.com, which connects us to weather, news, sell and swap, and pretty much everything that's going on in our community. So, yeah, and we'll also be able to do projects with her. She's done this before in the cities, and so it's a branch off. Thank you.
Thank you, Sandy. Questions for the panel or any member? You said it all. Mark Johnson, I have a question. You talked about the ratio in the grant program. Right now it's a 50-50. What are you seeing would be acceptable that would get providers out into the areas they can't reach?
Yeah, I mean, I wish I knew the exact answer to that, but things talk that I've heard and when talking with providers, 60 to 70% would, I think, would maybe get us over the hump on that. That's where I would see it.
Sophia, I have a question about the Wi-Fi on buses. Does everybody do their homework on there?
Well, at least a lot of my friends do because through 7th through 12th grade, they're able to have iPads and they're able to take them home. And 6th grade got moved over to the high school this year. They are allowing 6th graders to have iPads, but they're not letting us to take them home. So
are a lot of the students taking advantage of it to do homework?
I guess some of them are, but I know some kids take it to play games, so I guess
You don't do that.
No.
So I've never heard the range of what is an affordable price for the internet services and at what speed level. So I've heard somebody say like $600 per month, and what is acceptable? What would be a fair price? Conversation or information on that?
Mark?
Well, we started our retail operations, RS Fiber, about 13 months ago, and our minimum speed, we offer 50 megs up and 50 megs down. These are all with no data caps for $50 a month. And I have 100 megs up and 100 megs down at my house. It's amazing, and I don't need it, but I just got it for and I pay $70 a month. And I believe our Gigabit, which is symmetrical, I believe it's $120 a month. So no data cap. So that's what I find acceptable.
And symmetrical meaning same upload and download speed.
Right. For example, last year before I got it, I tried to do something on Shutterfly, and that's in the cloud. You got to send up all these, and it was just crazy. I couldn't do it. So this last Christmas, I have this 100 megs, and I uploaded 165 pictures in about 5, just with, and it was amazing. Just amazing.
Yeah, and I'll add to that. I mean, I talked about the cities with good access and areas around it, obviously, that don't, where I can pay $53 for 70 meg service in town, and out of town they can pay that much for the 0.8 or the whatever that you're talking about. What we're expecting, right, through the CAF build that's going on, what we've been told is at least advertise prices for in other words, nationally advertised, which would be competitive prices for the rural areas that they're building. So, if you see it on TV or you see it in the paper, that's what we're expecting to get, because that's what we expect as the affordable, essentially market rate. So,
Chris?
Chris Mitchell with the Institute for Local Self-Reliance. It sounded from the previous panel that there would be no discussion of changing the policy around the border-to-border fund. And I'm curious if anyone can reflect on experiences with the challenge process and how that's impacted the grants and that you sought or that you might be considering in the future.
I'll take a stab at it. I think it's valid to have some sort of challenge process. Certainly that makes sense. So we're not duplicating investment. We're assuring that the state's money or private investment is going to appropriate areas. But I think one of the things that everyone is still waiting to be seen is those applications that maybe weren't funded, that were good applications because of the challenge process. Are we going to be able to hold people accountable to now provide that level of service because a project wasn't funded? And so, I think we're all hopeful that they do. We just need to make sure that they're held accountable for that.
We had a challenge process. I don't know if we challenged the last one. We partnered with the RS Fiber partnered with MN Broadband, who is our operator in Renville County, to build a backbone throughout Renville County. And I don't know if we were challenged, but there was the threat of a challenge, so we had to stay away from cities, which is okay. We had to stay a couple of 3 miles out of the city as we made our way around out to the west of Renville County and back in to connect to 2 points on our network. So it has an effect. I don't know if it was negative or positive. Anytime you put up an obstacle, people are going to go around it or underneath it or over it. But I suppose it's a good process because you don't want dollars wasted.
I have a question based on some things we were hearing this morning from legislators talking about wireless. The gist of it seemed to be we don't know what's coming, so we don't know if we want to invest dollars. How do the panel see that approach, and are you hearing from people in the community that they're more comfortable waiting for what might come next?
Raise your hand if you want to wait.
right.
I was going to say, right. Waiting is a game again. We're sitting here in the Capitol, and we've seen what? No transportation bill, no bonding bill, no tax bills. And you come down here, and it's like we are in a cloud because the smoke's all around with nothing happening, but it seems to be a big flurry of activity here to get nothing done. We need to pressure these people and just keep moving forward. Well, we can't stop moving forward. We should do it now. We should have done it a decade ago.
I'll take our area in East Central Minnesota in Canadian County, and we've been at it for a number of years. And when we started, that was what we heard. Well, maybe there's wireless coming, we should wait and see what happens. Well, that was a long time ago. We've seen several iterations, right, come, and none of it has come to fruition as a viable solution, in our area, and I think that's true in many other areas as well. So, to the point where even residents in our residents' businesses, our county board members have said, no, we're not gonna wait anymore, we can't. We've heard this before, and we can't continue to wait. So they've seen it come and they've seen it go, and I think at this point, they're not willing to wait any longer.
So I have fiber to my house, and we built out 6 towns, we're gonna build out 4 more, and we're plans to build to everyone on the farm. And I am set, my house, my count is set for the next 60 or 70 years, because that's how long the fiber that's in the ground will last. The amount of bandwidth that I can put over one strand of fiber is unfathomable. I mean, it's 9.2 terabits over one strand of fiber with today's lasers. Now, that's a lot. I mean, it's an incredible amount. So I believe in fiber. I think it's a long-term investment. What you pay to put in the ground is good for 60 or 70 years. You change the electronics, and that's easily addressed in a business plan. You'll hear about 5G wireless. 5G wireless. It is not a rural solution. It is a metro solution. The standards for 5G are 5 years out. Just the standards for 5G are 5 years out. It will be 10 years before you see any significant deployment. To do 5G out in the rural areas, you have to have a tower every mile and a half of our. That just makes no sense. I say make the investment, and we did a public-private partnership. Our cities, our residents, put their tax dollars on the table and said, borrow against our ability to raise taxes. And we haven't put any tax dollars into our project at all. It's possible we might down the road if it fails, but I don't think it will fail based on the amount of support that we have. So it's a leverage to make that higher cost investment that's necessary. You want the fiber you want fiber to your house. You don't want wireless. I mean, if you can only get wireless as an interim, that's great. We offer 25 megs up and down wireless to our farms right now as a transition before we build in fiber. But if you can get what you can get, I don't mean to say wireless doesn't work. It does work in the right situations, but you really want to invest in that fiber. It's just amazing.
With that, I think we've run out of time. I want to thank all of you for being here, and we have